Welcome. Thank you for making time for this info session this afternoon. My name is Sharon Tomsanowek. I'm Director of Programs here at the Bread and Roses Community Fund. I am really thrilled to introduce the rest of the team that we have with us today. Tiffany, could I kick it to you and then we'll go to you, Camille?
Hi, yes, Tiffany Thompson. I use she, her, and I am the chair of the Jonathan Lax Selection Committee.
Hi, everyone. My name is Camille King. I'm the Grants Administration and Administrative Assistant here at Bread and Roses. I'm super excited that you're joining us today.
And I'm Petros Levunis, and I'm a member of the Jonathan Lax Scholarship Selection Committee. Welcome to this session.
Yes, welcome and thank you. A quick reminder that we are recording this session. There were a number of people who registered but could not join us this afternoon, and so this recording will be made available for their reference after today's conversation. So to that end, as you have questions that come up at any time, feel free to either enter them in the chat and Camille will elevate them when we get to the Q&A section, or just hold them until the end of the brief presentation and we will give you a chance to unmute and share your question directly. But we did want to give you a little bit of information about the scholarship, starting with Bread and Roses as the organization that kind of hosts this particular opportunity. We are the social change funder in Philadelphia, looking at moving money to organizations fighting for racial, social, and economic justice. This is actually our only funding opportunity for individuals, so it is an honor to be partnering with the Jonathan Lax Scholarship Committee. And Petros actually knew Jonathan Lax, so I'm going to hand it to you to share more about him.
Great, yeah. So, I knew Jonathan from the very beginning of this scholarship. And Jonathan was an entrepreneur. He is the one who invented the surge protector for computers. Some of you may remember the surge protector. That was very key to computer technology. But he made lots and lots of money out of his second major invention, which was the heavy plastic coverings of wires in offices, so people would not trip on wires. And that was his really major kind of money-making operation. And then Jonathan seroconverted and became a major advocate for HIV causes. He was a great member of ACT UP Philadelphia. He pushed for early release of medications. And he also happened to be my supervisor in medical school. I was a senior in medical school in Philadelphia, and I had him as my supervisor when I did my research on ways that people modified clinical trial protocols, HIV clinical trial protocols to align more with their own goals. And so he picked me to be a member of the Jonathan Lax Selection Committee. He started this fellowship, this scholarship for gay men. He really thought that there would be a lesbian arm to the scholarship as well, which hasn't happened. And he also thought that this scholarship would only last for 10 years. He gave all this money, and then he said, hopefully 10 years from now, we won't need to have, we won't have any discrimination against gay men, and we will be just fine. And of course, that did not happen. So we perpetuated the scholarship. He had invested very wisely, so we're able to continue funding this scholarship for many more years, and we're delighted about that. Next slide. And this is the committee, the current committee. Chris Bartlett and myself are the original members back in 1995 or something, where it started. Yeah, it's been a long, long time. After the first year of the scholarship, unfortunately, Jonathan died, but he was there for the for the selection of the first group of Jonathan Lax scholars. Since '95, we've awarded quite a number of scholarships with great success. In the 20-year anniversary, in 2015, we published a book of the biographies of some of the scholars, and I believe that some copies of these books are still available for people who may want to pick one up. Tiffany, tell me when I turn back to you.
All right. So now that you know a little bit about the history of Lax Scholarship and Jonathan Lax himself, thank you, Petros. I know most of you here are asking, well, like you want to know how to apply and what's the deal. So we're just going to go through that quickly, and then we'll open up for any questions that you have. So first, who qualify? Who should apply? So anyone who identifies as an out gay man. And when we say identify, we mean self-identify, right? Like it doesn't say cis, it doesn't say what type of gayness. It's like however you self-identify, you are qualified for it. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is you have to be from the Philadelphia area and the surrounding counties. So that's Bucks, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, Philadelphia, and Camden. And you will be enrolled in an accredited program in the U.S. during the 25-26 academic year. That's one of them. Or you'll be enrolled, so meaning that you're from this area, but you could be going to a school that's not in this area, right? But this is where you're from. Or you are going to be going to a school in the Philadelphia region. Those are the three main qualifications. So if you are applying to schools, we funded people who are going to school in California, but they're from, Bucks County, that qualifies them for the scholarship. Next. Yeah. So how do you apply? There's an online application that should be open. I believe it is open. And what the application is going to ask is you're going to provide your educational history, any work experience you've had, and also any kind of activities or honors you've received, and your financial need. And then last, your personal essay. And that personal essay, all of these things are really, really important. And the committee looks at all of these pieces to decide who should get selected for the scholarship. Your personal essay should reflect a lot of your goals, what you expect how would this money help you? What is your future academic goals? What is your future professional goals? And also, what is some of the activism? Even though it says to put that in the letter of recommendation, like in the essay, like talk about some of the activism that you are involved in. So that's the first thing. You're going to need to have your transcripts and 3 letters of recommendation. One is a personal one is academic, and one can be from either community or activism. Now, what is activism and why do we have this slide? Because we all define it differently, right? And the committee acknowledges that, and we know that you're all coming from different places. People who are applying, some folks are in high school applying to go into their first year of undergrad. Some people are applying, they're already in school or they're in graduate school. There are folks who are going back to school. They've been out of school for probably, how long, and they decide they want to go back and get more education. So their activism is going to vary, right, based on your experiences. But we're really just looking at, and this is what Jonathan was really passionate about, was the social change and the breaking of barriers, particularly around LGBTQ plus issues, right? So and that doesn't mean that it only has to be related to that, but that's something that he was really passionate about. So thinking about what community service you've done, organizations, places, and projects, but really narrowing, like really thinking about what activism have I done? What am I passionate about? What should the committee know about me? And how would this scholarship, again, continue to help serve the LGBTQ plus community moving forward? So just to go through it again, so how does the process work? The application is due December 2nd. So you got a couple more weeks for that. Sorry. And then the Bread and Roses staff will review it. So it doesn't come to the committee right away. First, it's going to go to the Bread and Roses staff, and they're going to review the applications to make sure that that's eligible and that you completed it. So make sure you have all the pieces there. Sometimes people are missing transcripts or they're missing their letters of recommendation. Make sure all of your pieces are there. Make a checklist, and that they will see if whether you're eligible or not. And all of those eligible applications are then going to come to the search committee, me and Petros and Chris and Aaron and Earl. And we're going to review them, and then we'll pick about 8 to 10 applicants to interview. And I'll just say the interviews, that might be a scary part, but I think that's probably the funnest part. When we get to know you and you get to know us and you get to tell us about how amazing you are and really sell yourself to us. So that's going to happen in the end of January. And then by February, you will know whether you've been awarded. And then after that, then the process goes through Bread and Roses around how they distribute the money. But it's a really simple process, and it's very intimate. So what are some tips for success? I've kind of been telling you some of this, but again, tell us your story. We want to know who you are, and we want to know what are your dreams and ambitions. We want to know how you're going to make a better change, right? This is, again, the core of Jonathan Lax was being an activist, and it's really important that he continue that legacy with this scholarship. A couple things about your essay. Make sure you write it out in a Word document so you can have all your proofreading done, have other people proofread it, the best you can present, and then put it online for us. Check all those boxes, like I said, make sure all those eligibility pieces are checked off before you submit your application. And then when in doubt, you can always reach out to the Lax at Bread and Roses, and they can always answer any questions that you have. And yeah, this is me and Petros. Again, Petros, is there anything you want to add? Anything I missed?
No, I just more for historical reasons. When the scholarship started, the way that we would score the applications were on 5 dimensions or 5 variables, if you like. Financial need, academic excellence, personal development, community work and activism. And then the 5th one was the one that Jonathan himself added and said, called it passion. And it's probably the most nebulous one, but it does have some meaning, has a lot of meaning for us having passion for what you do. We haven't assigned weights, so it's not like everything is 20% of the scoring. It's more of the overall strength of the application. But if you want to think about it, these are the 5 major buckets on which you would be evaluated.
I think that is an excellent overview. And if you don't mind, I will stop sharing this PowerPoint so that we can enter into a more conversational mode. I'm sure folks on the call have some questions. Camille, are you seeing questions come through in the chat?
I didn't see any questions in the chat, so hopefully we'll get some verbal ones now.
Okay. Potential applicants, do you have questions for our selection committee members?
I have a quick question. So if I'm a freshman at a university and I haven't received my transcript yet, should I just, and I won't have received it until after the first semester is finished, should I just upload the unofficial ones that just show my classes?
Absolutely.
Without my grades? Okay.
That's exactly right. And we would like to see that what class you're taking, even if the grades are not there yet. But of course, you will have the high school transcript. And for a freshman in college, I would say that this actually, would be quite relevant.
Thank you.
Bryce, go ahead.
If we do go on to the next round and we're studying abroad next semester, like I'll be in Spain, is it possible to have a Zoom interview?
We've done it before. I don't see why we couldn't do it now again. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And we certainly will not hold it against you. I do think I'm like 99% sure we awarded one of our awards to somebody who did an interview virtually.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
believe. Mhm.
Tiffany, were you going to add more to that?
I was going to just kind of back up what Pedro was saying. I think there was a student who was a high school student, I think, who was in Japan. Who
Yeah, that's true. Who's driving the, Tiffany, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll kick it over to Ye. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so I'm originally from the Burma, and also I'm came as a U.S. as a refugee in recently, and also I'm just applying all my master program in the Columbia University in New York. So it is eligible for my status.
So just to clarify your question, so you're applying to school in New York, right? Is that you're in Columbia? And where are you residing in the Pennsylvania area, the Philadelphia area? Not Pennsylvania, sorry, the Philadelphia area?
So I'm originally from the Burma now, so another military military crew. That's why so I'm came as a refugee, and also because of my safety.
Okay.
The question is, what is your connection with the greater Philadelphia area?
Yeah, so as you know, so this is because in my background, so I did so like yeah, I already mentioned about in my scholarship essay, and also I made a research report about the LGBT in Burma, and also in the COPE. So that's why that is a research project that is especially faced in the Burma, that is against the military, and also we had studied what are we facing in the current situation.
Well, what I would suggest is writing an email focusing on your relationship with the greater Philadelphia area to Bread and Roses, and then it will be reviewed and we'll let you know whether you're eligible or not.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Just outline the relationship that you have with the greater Philadelphia area.
Yeah, Petros, thank you for noting that. I think, my understanding is that one of the intentions of this scholarship is to build the greater Philadelphia region as well and really invest in the community here. So that connection is an important part of the opportunity. Marcus, your hand is up.
Thank you so much. So I have two quick questions. I'm a grad student in Philadelphia right now, and I was looking at the application and I noticed that there was an area for family contribution. Is there an expectation that there is a family contribution? Question number one. And then for question number two, I also saw that there was a place for listing what aid we would be receiving in the upcoming academic year, and I'm not sure what that looks like yet. So how would you suggest answering that part of the application?
Pictures, want to get that?
Could you speak? Yeah.
I can certainly tell you about the first part, that it's, the money that we give for the scholarship, although wonderful to have, by no means ever cover everything that there is to cover in your education. So what other resources you have going into your education, whether they're from family or from the university itself, will be part of the application.
Right. Can you repeat your second question, Marcus?
Yeah, the second question was, if I don't yet know what financial aid I'm receiving from the university for the upcoming academic year, what is the best way to answer those questions?
I believe we take estimates
Okay.
based it on your last year, whatever your last financial aid package would look like.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And I think there is a question in that section that says, is there anything else that that you would like us to know? So you might just kind of make a note there that you're working from either last year's financial aid or the estimate of the upcoming year, just so we have that. But
Okay.
to your first question, there's no expectation of a family contribution. That's not anywhere near a requirement for this opportunity.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Peter, go ahead.
Yes, I put my question online, even though we're technically not in Philadelphia, I am the founder and board member of the Delaware Stonewall PAC, which is the Gay and Lesbian Political Action Committee. Thank you, Sarah McBride. And we are trying to set up a similar scholarship program to what you're doing, but we may need another the program because we don't have very many funds to start with. And what we want to do is if there's a student in Delaware, which is right next door to you guys, who meets the same qualifications that that you put forth, that maybe we can go through your scholarship fund and find a student that would qualify totally. The only qualifications that's missing clearly is that they may not be from the Philadelphia area, but close enough.
I can take that one if that's okay. This is a hard no. It's a legal matter, and the way that the scholarship was funded, and the whole kind of the way it was set up does not allow us to make any modifications. And as you can imagine, there have been several ideas about modifying several of the requirements of this scholarship, but we are bound to the original intent of the donor. And these 5 counties are very well delineated. So correct me if I'm wrong, Sharon or Tiffany, but this would be a hard no.
Yeah, any changes to our grant structure would have to go through Orphans Court, which, as you can imagine, is quite a process. Tiffany and Petros, I do have a question for you. These scholarships are $5,000 or $10,000. Could you speak a little more to how the committee determines the size of the grant award for an individual applicant?
Yes, we are locked into this $5,000 and $10,000 amounts. So every year we'll have we're given a number given how the market is doing and how the fund has been behaving in the market. So let's say we have $60,000 to distribute. So we can decide to give 12 $5,000 awards, or we can decide to give 2. So any combination of these $60,000 for applicants. Traditionally, we only give 1 or 2 maximum of the major awards, so that we can give an opportunity to dispense more of the $5,000 awards. And there are many reasons why we've decided not to give the 10,000 award. Again, not so much because no one deserved it. That's never the case. It's because so many people deserved to get the fund that we just couldn't possibly not give it to more people. So yeah.
And I know you've given a lot of it. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just curious to know if is the amount of the award based on financial need or qualifications, like scholarly qualifications?
It's one of the 5 major dimensions or categories or variables of this scholarship: financial need, academic excellence, personal development, community work and activism, and passion. These are the 5 ingredients that go into the mix without having equal weight. It depends on each applicant on which one may be a little more important than other.
Thank you.
I think you've talked a lot about what makes a strong application. Are there any pitfalls that you see applicants falling into that folks can avoid?
Get started, Tiffany. I have my ideas on that.
No, you go first. I see you're ready. So why don't you?
I am so ready for that. That is rehashing your accomplishments that you have already listed in other parts of the application, in your personal essay. Of course, you can talk about your accomplishments. Of course, you can talk about your background, and having something like that is welcome. But reserve some real estate for the future. Do tell us, where are we going with all this? Think of us as an investment company. We are investing in you. We want a return on our investment. Jonathan Lax wanted a return on his investment. So yes, tell us about the past, tell us about the present, but don't forget to tell us about the future as well. And that is the most consistent mistake that people make on personal statements. They spend so much time elucidating all the good stuff that they have done, and then have a line or two at the end, and this will help me succeed in life and make Jonathan Lax Scholarship proud of me. No, that's not gonna give it. Nobody's gonna hold you to it. It's not gonna be that, hey, you said here that you're gonna do X, Y, and Z. They were not gonna chase you down with what you promised to do, but give us some ideas as to what would be the best case scenario. Where are we going with this?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, and I kind of said it in the presentation, where we really want to know what your future, what your goals, how is this money going to actually help you reach your like professional long-term community commitment. A lot of, for example, folks will come in and they're studying social work, and we're like, well, why? And they're like, I like working with people. It's like, well, we all like working with people, but okay, you want to be a therapist. Why do you want to be a therapist? What impact do you want to have on the community as a therapist? Right? Like that is, like take it as far as you can, so that we have an understanding of what you're passionate about. And we're in the committee, we are weighing all of those things, and these are questions we're asking. Someone may have more financial need, but they're not showing us their passion, right? Someone may have less financial need, but they're showing us what they're going to give back to the community. And that balance is what we look at. And when people forget it's not just about academics, right? Everybody is intelligent in their own way. It's not just about your academics or your transcripts. It's also about who you are, your passion, your goals. And when that's missing, it falls flat for us. Mm-hmm.
And of course, make sure that you're absolutely honest about everything. That goes without saying. There has been one committee member who calculated GPAs from original transcripts and found discrepancies, and that did not look good. So be very, very forthcoming.
We have a very diverse committee intentionally because we all have different things that we are like our thing. So yeah, be honest and be genuine.
And I will say, from a logistical perspective, if you're having difficulty getting your references to submit their letters, if you have questions about specific aspects of the application, we still have about 3 weeks to go. So please reach out early. We are here to help you troubleshoot. We don't want you to get hung up on some, question in section 5, on the day of the deadline. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions about any aspect of the application. All right. Well, we are coming up on 3:30. Are there any additional questions from our applicants and potential applicants here? Okay. Well, with that being, go ahead, Jafar.
Hello, yes. I was curious as to what qualities you would expect a reference to highlight in a personal letter compared to maybe a academic or community letter.
Question.
That's a great question. I think the personal letter may have the most direct access to that whole passion idea that we talked about before. Sometimes these letters come from close friends. Sometimes they come from a sibling or from from a grandparent, and most frequently they're from friends. And they may be able to give us an angle for the applicant that does not come through in a classroom setting or in a community group that the person does activism. So it's, as the name suggests, it's very personal and perhaps best to give us the passion part.
Thank you.
Great question. All right. Seeing no other hands, I am just going to pop our last contact info slide on the screen here for the sake of the recording. Again, please don't hesitate to be in touch if you have additional questions that come up in the process or would like any additional support with your application. So yeah, the easiest way to get in touch with us is via email, but again, don't hesitate to pick up the phone. And then please feel free to share this opportunity with folks in your network who may not have started the application. Applications are due midnight on the 2nd of December. So that is the Monday after Thanksgiving. Hopefully that downtime, well, I was going to say a little bit of a semester break, but I'm sure you're working on papers and all kinds of things. But maybe that little tiny holiday pause will give you a chance to kind of finish this out strong and get it across the finish line. So thank you to those of you who were able to make time for this call today. Again, we will post this on our website. So again, feel free to share it with others. And in the meantime, best of luck and don't hesitate to be in touch.